Hello, myself Sunil Ramgatan. Basically, today we are going to talk about the part of the formula that is basically 114 part. And here, basically, we are discussing about the light, basically. How much contribution, basically, the light, basically, um, software basically is going to produce to the light basically, that is basically to the power basically, you can say. And the power basically starts from the house basically, you can say. What are the basically first the basically if we will see the sequence of the universe light basically, when basically the earth planet data basically gets converted to the universe basically, that basically the sequence is there basically. I will not discuss about the entire sequence basically. So little bit sequence I will discuss here basically. For example, the software company basically data basically, whatever the software energy is that basically is getting used in the power supply basically, power supply by the power supply company basically, you can say. For example, there is one CRM project which is getting developed, and that is basically going to convert to the oil basically. So it's going to be convert to the oil basically. That is basically 100% sure, right? Like this basically, the software is going to convert to the oil. That basically is the one thing. And then basically this software basically is going to be, this software energy is basically going to be used in the power supply also, because this software is going to contribute to the universe light basically. And when basically the sun and moon basically get rays basically, in real basically there is no like sun and moon, but it's a light effect basically. So that light effect contribution basically, you can say, at the light effect contribution basically, that is going to be given by the software company. So that basically is a very long process, very lengthy process basically, you can say. So that basically is a very long process. So basically first basically it converts to the power companies basically. The power company basically uses this software energy data. Then basically it used by in the many sectors basically, each and every sector basically which is using the power supply. Basically each and every sector basically, you can say. For example, there are 1,000 sectors in this world. So this software energy is going to be used in this all 1,000 sectors basically. So basically just see the light power basically, you can say, the power of the power basically, which only software company owner knows basically. So the software company owner knows this, that this the software energy is going to be converted to the power, that is basically to the light. And basically it's going to be used in the thousands of sectors basically, where basically the power supply is getting passed basically. So just see basically up to the level basically the information software company owners, and the sort of level of the information which software company owner don't have. That is basically the software company, so the government only basically only have up to the level where the energy is going to be used in the power supply. So basically exact information the software company owner also don't know, because government says that we also have to keep something within the, because software company owner don't have the power to go inside the nuclear plant, to go inside the power companies, to go inside the energy companies. That basically authority only government have basically. So they have a special authority. So special authority basically, you can say, to enter the nuclear plant basically. And basically if government enters the nuclear plant, then basically there is no use basically. Why? Because it's controlled by the set of knowledgeable group basically, who have the exact knowledge basically of the power companies, of the energy companies, and of the nuclear plant basically. So basically if the government goes there also, then also basically no meaning. But basically the people basically who knows this, all this, that is basically power knowledge, powerful knowledge, the energy level knowledge, and the nuclear company knowledge, they basically all are in the government level good post basically. So basically if anybody says that he is basically very powerful in the nuclear plant basically, and he has done some magical thing, but then basically it automatically gets shift into the government side basically, because he has done up to that level. Then basically the nobody has done up to that level task basically. So by default basically jumps into the government authority. So he comes into the government custody basically, you can say. That also we can say it's new word basically, that is basically government takes them, that person into their custody basically. That actually not a good word, but basically it's like that only. So government takes the person into their custody, and then basically he has to supposed to work within the government basically, within the rules and regulation of the government basically. So the within the boundary of the government he is supposed to work basically. That is basically custody. So like this basically government says that the software company owner basically can become one of the member of the government basically, because he, if he is up to that level basically, then basically he can become the part of the government. So basically the person who is up to the nuclear level power basically, who have a good energy level power, who have a good knowledge of the software in exactly the software basically, exactly the, he know that up to the level basically of the power energy can do, software energy basically can do the contribution, and basically up to what level the power basically gets effect to the main light effect basically, that is the universe basically, that is going when the this software power is going to merge to the universe power basically, that is basically universe light basically. That time basically how much power is going to be contribute to that main light basically, main power, that up to that level basically software company owner knows basically, then basically is 100% going to be joined, 100% is going to be joining, he will be joining the government authority basically, because up to this level data, up to this level information basically very less people have basically, because but in software industry many less people have that how many lights going to be contribute to the universe light basically, universe power basically, you can say. So here the basically main thing is basically you are contributing to the universe power basically, universe energy basically, universe prakash basically, you can say. So you are contributing it to the universe basically. So like this basically the software companies basically do up to the, if the software company owner says that he has spent lots of money to generate the oil basically, and the, if the oil quality is getting good, it's getting generate, it's getting lots of energies basically from that oil basically. Here basically I had just taken the example of oil, but it in real basically it can be vegetable also. One small vegetable also can generate the powerful light basically, powerful power basically, powerful energy basically, you can say. So like this basically there are many stuff basically, you can say, which government knows and the company owner knows, which software CEO and vice president don't know. So up to the level basically the knowledge information are the, so this up to the level knowledge basically, that is the power and the light information. These are information basically, and 100 sectors are going to use these powers. So how many sectors are going to take these powers? So according to that, basically they are going to get royalty each and everything basically. So like this basically you can just imagine the power basically, which government and the, which government and the company, software company owners have. So you can just imagine the power level also basically, you can say. So like this basically there are many set things basically which software company owner knows, but the CEO and vice president don't know. So like this basically the CEO and vice president they knows basically the up to the software level basically, you can say. That is basically the software is going to be used in, so each and every software in this world, repeating the word, each and every software in this world basically which are going to be converted to the software energy, that is 100% going to be used in the user control of the software basically. That is basically combo box, radio button, check boxes, text boxes, check, then list box and the buttons basically, and the forms basically. So that is 100% going to be contributed one day basically. But directly software is not going to contribute to the tech, to that control basically, because to create the 2000 cities it has taken time, lots of time basically has taken. So it's not so easy stuff also basically, you can say, to to directly to jump inside the text box basically. That's not so easy also, because but it's 100% confirmed that with the software which are going to be converted to the software energy and has converted, that is going to 100% going to contribute inside the text box and the inside the control, each and every user control basically, which used in the website basically, you can say. So like this basically there are lots of stuff basically which a company owner know don't know. And why basically this I have we had discussed here, this is basically connected with the career of the company owner, career of the software company vice president, career of the CEO basically. Have how basically they can grow and up to the level they can do the stuff basically. If anybody company owner says that basically I have a good knowledge up to the certain level basically, up to the software energy level basically, up to the software energy basically how can convert to the how software energy can be converted to the up to the perfect lights, perfect energy basically, up to that level knowledge basically from software basically. So software has to design up to that level that software energy gives up to that level energy basically. So that basically when the software energy really gets converted to the energy basically, that time basically it should give a perfect light. That basically it's the uh, you can say contribution of each and every product basically software. For example, the base company is Microsoft, then basically Microsoft has to be give contribution there basically. The software company owner can't interfere basically. So there basically software company, that is basically Microsoft, only have to only basically can deploy the software. So with that, so create the SDK basically, so that basically whenever the software is going to be created in that basically software, that is for example .NET SDK is given. So whenever the software company is going to install that .NET basically, and when the software is going to be created inside that .NET basically, that time basically the whatever the base is defined by the Microsoft basically. So according to that only the basically software energy is going to be contribution. So basically the base, if the base is good, then basically everything is good basically, you can say. The things are basically like that also basically, you can say. So like this basically there are lots of things basically which we have discussed. We had discussed up to the um, so the people basically who have just joined the software industry, up from that basically the CEO and vice president, and then basically the company owner level task basically. So now basically we were discussing about the Bollywood basically, that is basically Bollywood contribution basically, you can say up to what level the Bollywood group knows about the software industry, because Bollywood group says that we have designed the software energies, we have designed the softwares, each and every step basically we are going to see in the next part, that is basically the 100 and this is basically 114. In 115th basically we are going to discuss like this basically, that is basically a Bollywood group and their energies, and basically how they can say that how they are telling that the software and industry basically we have.